Yeah, we're live!
Yay!
Woo! Okay, so sorry, you guys. I had to finish a beer before we first start broadcasting.
Before we started.
Yeah. Well, you know, gotta be classy, right? So, I'm going to pour myself a Macallan 12 here.
Nice.
You know.
And
Yep.
for this specific Whiskey Wednesday, I went out and I bought a tiny bottle of actual whiskey for it.
Fireball.
It's how did you see that?
You're such a noob. That sugary stuff,
Oh my
man.
God.
We'll work on you. We'll work on you.
Well, yeah. It was the one that looked familiar.
Right. I remember we drank much of that at Curtis's house.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Clean
oh, shit.
drink.
Oh, clean drink. Yeah. Hold on. I've got to get my jacket on. I forgot I had put that. Because I've worn the same jacket for every
the
single...
most vital piece.
I mean, now we can get started. Because now we're professional.
There we go. Now it's Whiskey Wednesday.
Welcome, everyone, to Whiskey Wednesday.
Whiskey Wednesday.
Clean drink. This lag is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's spicy.
You don't remember it being spicy?
I do. Just not to this extent. It's good.
It's good. It's good.
Mm.
So sorry, you guys. We're a little behind schedule. At least we're not 20 minutes. Which, by the way, if any of you are seasoned veterans to Whiskey Wednesday, we're never on time.
Nope.
Ever.
Normally it's days late.
Yeah. So there's that, and I appreciate all of you tuning in. I hope that we get to, if you ask questions, I hope that we can get to those in during our broadcast. We're gonna have season 1 and 2 nerds coming in. And hopefully you guys will have fun with that. If you have not asked any of your questions, or we don't answer any questions that you would like, that you're wondering about, remember to tweet us with the hashtag KOTN Whiskey Wins, which is up at the top in the title, which is right up there, I think. So,
I wonder. Oh, don't download. Oh, I'm messing with Google. Oops.
I can tell it gave me a little D noise.
Yeah, because I wondered if there was the lower third, but never mind. Womp womp.
Womp womp womp.
All right.
Okay.
So I don't know if we wanted to talk a little bit about the episode first before we start taking questions.
Yeah, I figured we would. I figured because Xander, Xander, you were there until like the very end. You know, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How was that trivia?
Oh my goodness. And I, especially from family and friends, I never hear the end of, like, why did you pick a math question? And I mentioned this in my Matt Carter final interview, which you can go see at cartermatt.com. And the game that we actually played was a lot longer than what they actually showed on the show. And that's true for everything that happened in Nirvana. Because they're cramming 3 days into 45 minutes. Right. So at that particular point in the game, like, I had pretty much exhausted the video game questions and the fantasy questions, and Kayla's a rocket scientist. There was science left, and she was kicking our butts at the comic questions, and everything else Brian and I were pretty evenly matched at. So that's when I decided to go for the super hard math question to kind of even it out for everybody. But I didn't know until afterwards that I think Kayla has like a math degree or something like that, or she's
an engineer, so
yeah. So I went for it and made a move, and that's that. But I don't regret it at all.
That's all she wrote.
And that's all she wrote.
I remember. Go ahead.
I definitely dressed for the weather because it was 1,000,000 degrees, and I was wearing felt doublet.
I will say, best dressed of the episode was definitely Xander.
Woohoo!
Little victories.
Yeah, anything.
Clean drink. Oh. Okay, so I remember because we were obviously there whenever they were answering trivia questions, and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
Because they saw you coming in at the end.
Yeah, so I remember we were standing behind this partition because they didn't know that we were there, and I remember hearing like the Buffy question, and I was like, oh, Xander totally got that one, whatever, and then
Brian's a huge Buffy fan too.
Which I didn't know. See, like Brian and I never really got to know each other on the show until like we got to know each other off the show, but during the show our circles never really crisscrossed. I think we had a sassy off at one point, but I think that was as close as we got. And also his magnificent beard, I was always enamored with. I was like, that beard.
How can you not be?
It's a good beard, and it is good, Yeah. So, but it was wonderful seeing you guys. It really was. It was like a brightened light.
And it was great to see you guys again too, because like we had been living it the whole time, and we were so stressed out, and then like this devastating thing happened to Brian and I, and then all of a sudden we see all these like amazing faces that we had missed so much, and the house was so quiet without everybody in it that it really felt like Nerdvana again.
Well, I mean, it was also really just great to have like this homecoming because while filming was not that long, it felt like it was forever. Just a week of filming felt like a month with each other because you're working, from 7 to midnight every day.
Exactly.
And so whenever you're working extremely long days, everything is your weeks are longer, days are longer, and so whenever you finally get to have this homecoming, it was wonderful. Wonderful to say. I see somebody saying sassy off. Pray do tell.
It's Yumi.
Oh.
Hey, it's the internet.
Hey, it's the internet.
You're in the dark.
If you would like to see Yumi and Xander, you can check out Xander Vlogs because they do these awesome Japanese slang videos.
Yes, exactly. We do Japanese slang videos together.
We do.
We do.
They're wonderful. All right. Oh yeah, Sassy Off. So I just saw it because I'm spastic, so I saw it. Sassy Off. We had mini Sassy Offs, and by the way, Josh was probably the sassiest. I think.
Yes.
Wasn't it Josh?
Brian was very sassy.
Brian had brought his sassy on. I know Brian won our sassy off, and I was very embarrassed because I was like, I made Mama Roo very upset with that.
Oh man, and who would have expected it? Nobody.
Nobody came out of left field. Oh, okay. So the trivia. So we went through some trivia. Is there anything to note of the trivia? Like, were y'all? So it was obviously very hot. So it was very long because they used like different lights to point the sun in y'all's direction, so you feel like you're baking.
Totally, and I think, and Kayla can talk about this more when she gets in too, but Kayla was wearing black as well. Like any one of us that was like wearing black, like really felt the heat coming off of the sun.
Well, it's like that first day whenever we walked into Nirvana and I was wearing my black leather jacket. That was such a bad idea.
I remember, but you look good doing it.
Oh, girl, you know. Moving on. So do we want to talk? Okay, I'm gonna pull this out there. We might have been a hot mess, but because they never showed it, we're gonna talk about it. So during our party night in Nerdvana, whenever the nerds are back, we're having a good old time. Xander and I decided to go down into the interview room with a shot of tequila between the two of us, because we're like,
multiple shots of tequila.
Yeah, okay, maybe it was that. I was gonna leave that part out, but that's okay.
Like, no, but it was cool because we had the test tubes full of tequila.
Yup. We had those, and we went down there because we're like, we're gonna do an interview together whether you like it or not. So they took us downstairs, and we're sitting by each other, and we're like, I missed you. I missed you too. Please, drink. And we started. Then the best part, my best thing that Xander doesn't remember. I don't think.
I vaguely remember.
Well, I start singing the beautiful song, because I knew you from Wicked, and then Xander starts singing Defying Gravity.
Yeah.
We start singing at the same time, and it's the most mismatched song I've ever heard. It was a hot mess. Hot mess.
At least we were in the same musical.
That's true. At least you weren't singing like Susical or something, singing about an elephant.
Right? Oh, and they did us the decency of not airing it,
Right.
which is
Please
great.
drink to that, my friend, because that was something.
Clink
That was
drink.
something I was very much like, oh well, that's gonna get aired. The next morning, I was like, that right there, that's something I'm gonna have to answer for. My mom's gonna be so proud.
Yep. And now you know.
And now, the more you know. Oh, there was something else that happened that night. You kicked me out of your bed.
Okay, so what actually happened was you took the decanter of tequila back to the room,
Yep.
and I was sitting on my bed and I was drunk, and you were on my bed as well, and I wanted to go to sleep. And so I remember just leaning over to you, and I'm like, I have to be as polite about this as possible. And I was just like, Mary Kate, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't sleep in my bed right now? Or something to that effect.
Something like that. And I was like, honey, I'm not sleeping in your bed tonight. I'm just sitting here. I'm going to sleep over there in the sleeping bag on the floor. It's going to be okay. And you're like, oh, okay. And you pass the fuck out.
Rolled over.
Just rolled over. It was so funny because I was like, are you kicking me out of your bed right now? Is that
Maybe a little.
Whatever. You just couldn't handle this tequila.
I couldn't. And then we got like question marks by the cameraman and the producers in the morning, like, who brought this here?
And I slowly raised my hand, and they were like, of course it's you, MK. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, no.
Good time. So these are things that you guys missed from the show. Thank goodness they didn't air.
Yep.
So, anyway,
I lost connection for a sec there, but I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I think I lost connection too. Maybe.
My internet is so bad.
Is it now? I'm gonna do
Yep.
this.
Oh, well, off and on again.
Yeah, you know. I'm hot and I'm cold. I'm yes and I'm no. I'm in and I'm out.
Are you quoting Katy Perry at me? How dare you?
Oh, girl. Clink drink.
Clink drink. What is happening?
I really don't know. Okay, I guess, like, unless you can think of anything else, we might as well just invite some people in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it! Because we got lots of questions.
Yeah.
Holla, where's my phone? Do you want to handle that?
Sure. One of the questions that I keep seeing is, what was the food like in Nerdvana? Did you eat Little Caesars all the time?
We get that one all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And I actually mentioned this in the first ever hangout that we did before the premiere, or after the premiere, actually, because my weight fluctuates, as you've seen before, and so I have to keep like kind of a strict-ish diet, and then I get into Nerdvana and they're like, they're nerds, let's just feed them pizza and burgers and Chinese food all the time, and I'm like, oh, okay.
All the time. And they fed us 3 times a day, too. It wasn't like little meals like for lunch or a little meal for like dinner. It was big, humongous meals. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it.
Heavy meals.
The like inner fat kid in me was living for it because I was like, breakfast burritos for breakfast every day.
And I think a lot of us wish that they at least had like a small gym that maybe like with a treadmill or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is pretty exhausting to be on the show, so I don't know if I would have energy to work out, but yeah.
Man.
Plus, I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anybody lined up yet?
I have not gone into there. Let me go into. This is my roommate's computer. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, nerds do like salads too, and especially nerds like Katie who are vegetarian. Katy Perry or Lady Gaga? I love Lady Gaga. I'm stereotypically gay, whatever. I already came out with it.
No. I love Lady Gaga too because I did her makeup that she did in Telephone with the caution tape stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I'll post that later.
I did a makeup tutorial for her applause video, and you can see that on Xander Vlogs.
Plug. Okay.
Plug.
I'm going to invite Kayla and Brian in first, since they were on the... I don't think Jack is on, or I would invite him. I tried to get both of them in there.
Oh.
All right.
Another question was, how is it seeing George Takei? It was amazing. Like, I didn't get to interact with him as much as I had hoped I would, but just from what I was able to see and to interact and to glean from him, he's just an amazing person. Xander, are you a Britney fan? Not actually. Whoops.
Oops, he did it again.
Yeah, oops.
He
I
played
did
with
it
your
again.
heart.
Okay,
Awesome.
all right. Brian Davidson.
Xander Jean.
Woo!
Welcome, Brian.
Welcome to me.
Clink drink.
Clink drink.
Yay.
Yeah.
I was about to not even drink anything because it's too late and I'm too tired, but what the heck? I can't resist.
If anything, MK and Xander are great influences on your weekday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Brian, since you're here.
Remember that.
Oh, and now Kayla's here, too.
Kayla.
Welcome,
Kayla,
Queen of the Nerds.
Your Majesty.
Hello, everyone. Okay.
Oh, cool hat.
The first thing I think both of you should do is talk about trivia first, since that's like we talked. Like, what was your like behind this? What was your thought process, Brian? Why don't you start?
Oh, trivia.
Trivia guy, you.
Well, yeah, they set me up, and I set myself up for being trivia guy. That's actually, and when, if and when we get permission to release our audition tapes, which I know that some of the season 1 cast people did that eventually, but you'll see, like, part of my audition tape is me playing along with Jeopardy, and rocking the category, by the way. And I mean, I love trivia. I love Jeopardy. I mean, Jeopardy especially. Jeopardy is like a very specific subgenre of trivia. But when it comes to like specific trivia, like what they were asking, and like, especially comics. Comics is a weak spot for me. I admit that, and that was evident.
We can fix that, Brian. I can be your guide.
I know. Well, and actually, I was trying to sort of study up on comics before I even came out.
Mm-hmm.
But what I ended up doing is, I asked some friends for recommendations, and I read some good stuff, but it was like, like independent stuff that no one's ever going to ask about.
Well,
and
to be fair, indie stuff is really, really good. But the reason why they probably gave you that is because DC and Vertigo and Dark Horse and Marvel are all very intimidating, things to tackle. So
it's
that's
hard
probably why they
to
give you
comics.
It is.
Yeah.
Unless you check out
very-
Comic Book Girl 19 on YouTube, because she is amazing at getting nooblers. I'm just gonna say, because I gotta rep my girl. Continue.
Well,
I'm sorry.
And what I do also, I mean, I read everything on Wikipedia daily, and so like a lot of that is comics. And I try not to spoil myself too much. Like I'm crazy about spoilers for a lot of things. For comics, it doesn't matter as much. I feel like, because it's so the universe is so convoluted anyway. It's like, oh, this person's dead. Well, he's probably not gonna stay that way.
Brian,
they're so good.
do you ever do Wiki Wars? Have you heard of that?
Is that, remind me what that is? It sounds familiar.
So it's you versus another person, and you both start in like a random article, and then you have the same article that you have to get to, and you have to navigate through Wikipedia to get there.
I think I tried it once. It sounds pretty awesome.
It's a ton of fun and really hard.
Yeah. There's that great XKCD comic that is like a big just blob of Wikipedia random links and but anyway, yeah. So my point is, like, random trivia about random things. Like, I found out. I mean, all of us can be good at random trivia things. I feel like Katie has schooled me a lot in like American presidential trivia, which is something I should probably know more. But and so, like I said in my confessional, like, sure, if they had like a literature category or a poetry category or something like that. Or I was about to say opera, but then I remember that Kayla is like an opera whiz too. Like, I don't even, like, I know a little bit about opera. So you guys, anyway.
Jolly, you guys.
But still, I like trivia. Trivia's fun. Yeah.
And then
It was a shame,
Kayla,
it was
you
a shame to
spanked
go out
us.
on what was supposed to be my strong suit, but
That's true.
Kayla, do you want to talk about the trivia?
Comic books, man. Oh boy, yeah. I knew going in there that I just had to stick to the comic books. That was my ultimate goal, and it definitely helped me a lot. Just remember, Justice Society comes before Justice League.
I know.
that's a question you guys didn't see.
Yeah.
And that's one that tripped me out. And I remember that one. I think, as I recall, this should be okay to talk about. But as I recall, the question was, which of these was the earliest band of superheroes? Justice Society of America, Justice League of America,
I said the
Avengers
Fantastic
and
Four.
X-Men.
No,
Fantastic Four. I knew it was DC. I knew it was not Avengers or Fantastic Four. And I was like, Justice League or Justice Society. I knew they were both big deals. And in retrospect, it's like Society sounds more old-fashioned. That should have, but whatever.
Yeah, with Wildcat and all the originals, yeah.
But you kind of pulled that out of nowhere because we didn't really know of your comic knowledge to the extent that it was, because it never really came up in a challenge before.
No, the comic books were very low-key this year, and so it never really, I think you all knew I was obsessive-compulsive about Batman.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
I mean, MK and I have gone back and forth teasing each other with the whole Marvel DC kind of thing.
I still don't think that you should have an elitist thing about it, because each title has its good things and it has its bad things, and it has its in the tide, out the tide.
Anyway.
All I'm saying, because I do like DC too. Just saying, not just a Marvel girl, but right now I am.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those nerds that's very stuck on their one side of fandom, so I'm very much DC. But yeah, so I would just instantly start going to those comic book questions, and that helped me. And that one math question was great there, Xander.
And I'm not bad at math, but doing math quickly like that, I mean.
And with no scratch paper or anything,
Yeah.
I knew
that was hard.
that I had to do.
I can't imagine that. That bit would probably get me. If I had if I had a piece of paper where I could work it out, that's one thing. But to have to be in my head, I'm gonna do.
Well, I mean, you can kind of make it out in the video. I'm sitting there kind of writing it out with my fingernail on the back of the board that we were holding and stuff. And
I did the same thing.
And like Xander said, it was hotter than crap that day. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They made us stop every 15 minutes so the medic could come over and make sure we had water and check our body temperatures and stuff. And I was just white. I mean, I got so red and I was in black on black on black. I kept hiding in Xander's
Aren't you
shadow.
glad the Nerd Eliminator was inside, Kayla?
What was that?
Aren't you glad the Nerd Eliminator was inside?
Oh my God, yeah.
Can you imagine if he was outside, y'all? No. Mm-mm.
You would have to deal with heat stroke and everything.
Yeah, and also sunscreen, girl. Sunscreen. This Anglo-Saxon problems. I gotta have this sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
The boys will vouch for me. They're putting sunscreen on me literally every time they stop. It's just my face goes red when I get hot. When I'm playing hockey, my face is bright red just because I'm sweating and stuff. So it's not that I burned. It was just hot.
Yeah. And then, Jack needed the extra sunscreen too because he had the shaved head that he wasn't used to, and he would get sunburned all the time.
Yeah, that's why he started wearing a hat too.
Yeah.
That boy and that shaved head told him not to do it. Does he listen to me? No.
Nope.
Okie dokie. So, since we do have, I want to, before we invite some more of the contestants in, I thought we would talk to Kayla about the Nerd Eliminator. Kayla, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Kind of give your view on it, because I know the rest of us kind of had the same kind of outlook on it because we were standing there just kind of or in my case, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was very, very nerve-wracking and stressful. Then the waiting period in between, oh god, that felt like, what, 3 hours from the moment that it was over to the moment they announced and stuff. Oh, that was very, very nerve-wracking. In terms of the Nerd Eliminator, you know, I'm getting a lot of crap about the Pac-Man. I couldn't play Pac-Man. I never have been able to figure out Pac-Man.
It's been,
but, you know, I can just say that.
I said it on the show as well, but I would have done the same thing that Chris had done. If you had asked me right away to help you with Pac-Man, I would have been like, no, you should try it first, because it's just the first level. And then after watching you, I was like, oh.
Yes, Xander, I was terribly wrong.
Look, I know where my weaknesses are, and I know one of my weaknesses is video games. I'll admit it. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I will tell you that is one of my weaknesses, and it was interesting. I hated the fact that they would yell and scare us, because that would always pull me out of whatever I was working on.
It would scare us too.
Annoying boy. And you know, it was great. You know, it was challenging, but not so challenging you couldn't achieve anything out of it. And I wish that Sudoku would have been harder, because that was like a level 1 Sudoku. That was ridiculously easy. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I would have been more hung up on the Sudoku and not on the Pac-Man, because it was level 1 of Pac-Man. So I think it's tailored to whatever your strengths are.
You know, I do remember at one point when I was holding that dumb rope thing that nobody understood, looking at Bobby and Curtis, and I asked if I could use my knife, and they said no.
Because the point of the rope thing was to get the washer out, right?
Yeah.
It was a spatial awareness puzzle.
Yeah.
And I believe we determined later on that the only one of us 11 who really knew how to do it was Kelsey.
That's true.
I think Chris knew.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris knew how to.
Had I had a little bit more time, I might have played with it. But yeah, Team Chris. But I mean, I played my hand the way I did, and because of that, I didn't really have a chance to play on that one in particular. But I worked on everything else, and I did good. My biggest thing is I hated the boo-boo I had on the word search, because I could have done it on my own had I not messed up on that one stupid person, because then I could have saved another one of my council positions for a different challenge. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, they explained that, didn't they, in the show briefly?
I don't think they did. I had accidentally crossed off one name. I circled to basically cross off the wrong name when I had found a different name.
And it took me forever I mean, I kept going over it, and I was like, it looks right, but what's wrong here? And
yeah, it took us quite a while to finally. And as soon as I figured it out and we got that last letter, we both were like, oh, duh, it's Marie Curry. God.
Yeah.
Oh, well, life happens, and I can't complain too much now.
Alrighty. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out right now how to, maybe as people who are watching have done Google Hangouts, I'm trying to make it so that it's not that the screens are switching, because right now it's just saying,
it's switching for me.
Is it saying? Well, I've been clicking on people now.
Yeah, I know that we individually can click on people to make it pause on them, but
yeah.
Try clicking on the person again to unselect them.
Okay, I did send me back to. Oh, someone talk.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it me now?
No, it's not. See, that's the thing. It's like I got a friend of mine just texted me and said that it was just stuck on me for the past, 30 minutes. Whenever I've just been sitting here.
It's switching on my screen.
Going whatever you're.
Is it switching on everyone else's?
Yeah.
It's switching on mine, so whoever's talking is the big one.
Yeah, me
okay,
too.
It's starting to switch on mine now.
I think you just have to have it unselected.
Yeah.
Okay, so whoever is not like Chris Jackson, if you haven't unselected my little picture, then unselect it. Okay.
There's an interesting question in the chat. Did you have to solve the word search, or if you knew Marie Curie discovered polonium, could you have skipped all of it? I don't think that there was there a trivia question at the bottom, or was it just
when they announced the word search on air, they said it had to do with the person who discovered polonium. That was not actually part of the word search.
Okay, I didn't think so.
So that was
No.
you couldn't do that. However, the question did come up. I remember when we were discussing or when we were clarifying, rules ahead of time, that there was, an anagram or whatever in the word search, and I think I asked, can you just solve the anagram? The answer was no. You have to get the word search too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You had to do both. Just like with the math problem, you had to solve the math problem and get all of the questions about sci-fi correct
Right.
to get the full point. Where, the sci-fi questions were easy, the math was a little bit harder, and I had a boo-boo in my math. And
I love how
I'm
you're
used
calling
to
them boo-boos.
Well, I mean, come on. A, there's a lot of pressure. B, everyone has their moments where they screw up, and I did it on national television. Cut me some slack.
I just think that I think that Xander would have harsher words for it, is all.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them boo-boos. I would call them I don't know, mistakes or something.
I'm not even referring to any of you guys. You guys know who I'm basing all that towards.
Oh, okay.
So, we are about to have a couple more new nerds in here. Chris Jackson from season 2.
He's my favorite.
Nicole from season 2. We're also going to have Alana and hopefully Brandon in here from season 1.
I've never talked to Alana in person before.
Well, I invited her
in
today,
person.
and she said that she could
In
possibly
person.
make it, and so I said, and by the way, I did invite Ivan. He's in Vegas at a convention right now, so he cannot make it. Welcome, Chris Jackson.
Right.
Chris Jackson from season
My favorite.
Hey, Chris, is it changing for you now? Is the video changing?
Chris, you need to turn down the YouTube. If you have the YouTube open, you need to mute it or pause it.
Turn off your radio when you call in.
Alana!
Hello.
I haven't talked to you in person either. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday with season 1
Are you guys
and season 2
drinking
of King
anything?
of the Nerds. You are the representative of season 1 right now. So
Wednesday.
So,
I don't have whiskey, but I do have alcohol, so...
Yay.
that works. That's completely fine. And you don't even have to have alcohol. For those who are non-drinkers at home, you can drink apple juice, you can drink orange juice, you can drink some of that green coffee that Nicole and Kayla drank all during King of the Nerds, which is basically Mountain Dew. So anyone can drink with us.
But can you drink your blood?
So real quick, just to... Oh, he left. I was going to talk to Chris Jackson. You don't have to mute the Google Plus Hangout. You have to mute the YouTube page if you have that open, because that's on a delay.
Quite a delay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have
so
it
that's
paused
what
so I could just see the
messed
chat.
it up.
I have it on the other computer. Too many computers.
He's not going to figure that
and
out
use
until it
headphones
catches
just
up
in
in on the YouTube. I'm sorry, it was really funny to me. Anyway, okay. So, Alana, why don't we talk to you a little bit? Because I know some of us haven't gotten to talk to you all that much. Did you get to watch season 2?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yay! So, did we make you proud?
What'd you think of it?
Oh, what?
There's lots of questions. Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked the games and nerd-offs and stuff you guys had to play, and it was really, really enjoyable. And like, to be completely truthful, I scared all of my cats when I yelled at my TV.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So like, but the first time I yelled at my TV was finally when Zach got kicked off. and then I yelled at my TV again when Kayla won, and I was like, yes! Well,
Thank you, Alana.
I remember I got several tweets from random people saying that when this fellow here squeaked on camera, their dogs all went crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite
this is
contestant
interesting.
on King of the Nerds, Alana?
Yeah.
Oh, who was my favorite? That's
Chris
really
Jackson.
hard. That's really hard, guys.
Just
Yeah,
say the black
it's
guy.
hard.
It
I
was the
thought I
black
almost
guy.
got you. I thought I almost got you.
One of the black contestants.
Yes, that's always a good answer. Always a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, Xander, what were you going to say?
Oh, there was a good question. Okay. So, I guess, I don't know if there's a backstory to this, but Alana, on a scale of 1 to Michael Phelps, how good are you at swimming? That was a question in the chat.
Oh, pretty close to Michael Phelps. I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did synchronized swimming when I was younger. So I can put my hands above my head in the deep end. So
Okay, for the record, I think that's hella impressive because I never learned how to go underwater without holding my nose, so.
Nicole!
I was always on frozen water. Hi.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm certified in scuba diving, and I also do a lot of kayaking and whitewater rafting. So I love being in the water.
cool.
Yay. I like
Yeah.
being in the water as well.
I like
Ah.
canoeing with
Chai
a box,
says that
bottle
he
of
hates
box
water.
wine.
I like tubing down the river with some beer. That's so Midwest.
Oh, beer floats. Yeah.
That's apparently something that you do in Sacramento too. And by
Oh,
apparently,
I believe it.
I guess wherever there are rivers, which is not Denver.
Oh my goodness. Moo today just sent me a picture of her drinking a glass of wine, saying "clean drinking from afar," sending her regards. So
Aww.
she says that if she
Yay,
gets in, she'll come and join. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, why don't we start? I've saved a couple questions on my phone for people, and we're just gonna go through them. Some of them might be just one answer, like go, and one person can answer, and they might be more longer answers. Words are hard, so that's a thing. We're going to start with this first one I got. Lane, @Lane_the_train asked, what is the most awkward drunk story that happened in Nirvana? I'll answer this first.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure it was broadcasted into all of you. It was the tequila shot with Zach. That was definitely the most drunk Nirvana story. So, Xander?
For me, it didn't get aired, but I will be talking about this in my King of the Nerds Top 3 Moments tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Another plug. But when Josh Jaywitz came back, we took a shot together, and we had to dedicate it to something. And my mind's like, okay, think Pokemon. We got to dedicate I'm drunk right now. Dedicate it to something in Pokemon. So we took a shot of gin to PP up.
Aww.
And he did it.
Nerd.
You know, when you brought up Josh, I thought you were going to bring up the hotel incident where he was,
Xander
Kelsey was
wasn't
being
there.
ridden. Oh, that's
Xander
right.
wasn't there.
I was like,
Yeah,
damn,
it was a
you missed
hotel
out.
for the reject.
Yeah, really awesome.
Our hotel
So,
party
there was
for
that
the
one
rejects.
point. Yeah, there was one point where Kelsey was riding Josh as he was like on all fours all over the floor. It was hilarious.
Oh, I remember that. That was awesome.
God. Yes, Xander, that face is appropriate.
Yep. It was hilarious.
See, this is what the rejects do. We ride each other. I'm gonna go back to Assassin's Creed.
Who's hella rejects? That's
You just got a whole bunch of people in trouble.
What? No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, next question. Unless anyone else, Brian, what's your favorite drunk story? Was it hiding under the Shuffleboard table?
No, that was a good one.
That was a good
I forget even when it was. Were you still there, MK? We were
No,
playing,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
because why the heck will you not play hide and seek? And I think Zach was it. He was trying to find us, and I was hiding under the shuffleboard table with bacon probably and my whiskey, and he found me, and I was like, go away, I'm staying here. Yeah, there wasn't, yeah. I was probably the third most drinker behind MK and Xander, but I don't have any like fantastic wacky stories.
I have a couple about Nerdvana.
Oh, go for
We've
it.
heard.
You guys are much more into the drinking than we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ivan invented game.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
I've heard of this.
I wanted to play a game with Ivan at Strategicon, but I didn't get a chance to.
Well, it is also, you can also play it over Google Hangouts. So if you can be like, Ivan, we want to play game. Teach us
You
game.
also play game.
Yes.
We want to play a game.
And so yes, we got really drunk a lot. They turned off our internet. They didn't give us anything else to do.
I heard they took the alcohol away at times too.
Oh yeah.
After
Yeah.
Moo got inside the AC, that's what I heard.
Yes. Yes.
That is
so
probably my favorite stories when we in the AC.
What happens in Nirvana gets broadcast on national television.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have no drunk stories.
Right.
It's okay. It's
There
okay.
was-
I think you were there whenever I was trying to get these, by the way, very fragile glasses from the very tippy top shelf in Nirvana, and I knock them over, and they break everywhere, and Kayla gives me this, look like, we are not your mama to clean up this. Why are you pregnant kid? And I was like, I'm sorry. I just wanted a shot glass.
That was a very trying period for me because
Hold on.
you all came back.
There you are. Oh. You're breaking up, Kayla. For me. Maybe it's me breaking up.
I can hear Kayla
You're
just
breaking
fine.
up with me?
Okay, so it was a really weird time for me because I was still in the whole stress and the challenge of I got the Nerd Eliminator tomorrow, and you all were just balls to the walls party, or loud, obnoxious, and just having a blast. And I remember just sitting in the corner just watching you guys going, oh man. And oh man, the camera guys were giving me crap about it and everything because I'm like, I couldn't get into it. I had to stay focused. And then I remember the next day, before we went to the Nerd Eliminator, and we had already split into our teams, I'm sitting on the couch with you guys who are on my team, and all of a sudden Katie starts building a fort.
Yeah.
The pillow.
And
I love her for it.
I just
It was
literally,
amazing.
I look at one of the camera guys, and I was just like, I'm about to be led to the fucking slaughter, and they're building a fort!
Oh, you got in that fort and you enjoyed it.
It was an
like that
amazing
fort.
fort. It was an amazing
I
fort.
want to get the photos from the fort. I need
Yeah.
The fort was
More
amazing.
photos.
And so, in addition to the camera people who were around all the time, we had a wonderful still photographer, Trey Patton, I believe is his name.
Oh,
And
good shout out.
Trey.
He's the guy who, all the promo photos that we've been able to tweet at you guys and all that stuff, he's the guy who provided all that. And he climbed into the fort and started snapping at us. And it was great.
It was cute. It was really cute.
Yeah.
How many of us did we actually get in there? We got a bunch.
I think all of us were in there at
Every-
one point.
Yeah, all 11 at one point.
It's awesome.
No,
Wow.
It was
I don't think Jack and Zach were part of it.
it was
Zach
close
was
to
in there.
all.
Zach was definitely
It
in
was-
there.
It was very hot.
It must have been.
Yes.
I don't remember being in there when he was in there because I wouldn't have gone in there while I was in there.
Oh, so maybe
Hey.
at some point it was all
Hey, now.
11 of us.
Yeah, and then someone did something and then destroyed. I think it was like Mary Kate destroyed the fort. Someone destroyed the fort.
Oh,
What?
I got it off.
Automatically me.
Started throwing
I
stuff
think
at
it was
it.
Mary Kate. I'm
And
blaming
Andrew-
Mary Kate for
That
destroying
was
it.
Was it first?
I think it was you, Mary Kate. I
Is it
just
because I
seem to
didn't laugh at
remember
your black joke at the beginning of the show?
Mary
Is that
Kate
why?
destroyed the fort. Is what I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
At first, I remember it was in theory a girls only fort. I guess because
Oh yeah, they wouldn't let me in for the longest
and then
time.
I was the one who burst the sex barrier or whatever. I just worked my way in there, which doesn't sound good in the
Scariest
context.
person in the show.
I remember that I like got
Right.
birthed out of that thing at one point because there was like a small opening that just like squeezed through.
Fond memories, Xander.
Oh god, the things that the public don't know about what happened at Nerdvana.
They do now. There's some
Oh, we
more.
barely even.
There's some more questions
just
in the
saying,
chat. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Go for it.
So, did you guys play any shuffleboard? There was a shuffleboard in Nerdvana.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Occasionally.
I think I taught some people how to play shuffle because my bar that I go to a lot has a shuffleboard, and that's where I learned how to play shuffleboard. And I have to say, I never considered myself good at shuffleboard, but I never went up against people who didn't know how to play shuffleboard, and I was like, oh, look at these skills. Look at these skills shine.
As I recall, by the end of the show, we had like a jar of what was it, wax, I guess, that you
Yeah.
pour
We
over
were out
there.
of the wax
Salt.
By
bead.
the end of the show, like we had just like dumped it all over the whole thing. There was no wax left. It was just, and nobody was replacing it. It was slightly useless, but
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
Kayla, you and I played a
it
lot.
Was, at first, I think we played it a lot. You and I played a lot. I think I played with Chris a few times. I know I
Yeah,
played with
lost.
Nicole. And then we started to do trick shots to see if we could do trick shots and stuff. And yeah, that
You can do
That
some
was maybe a
amazing
one
shit with
first-
shuffleboard. All I'm gonna say,
Uh-huh.
like,
actually,
amazing.
I remember actually playing a couple of times with some cast wranglers, which maybe I'm not allowed.
yeah.
You know.
I remember, too, I was
TV
messing
timeouts,
around.
they were allowed to participate with us.
Yeah. I was messing around with the quadcopters, or one of the quadcopters that we had,
Oh,
and I didn't
Maybe
realize
the
it
one that
push,
Katie didn't
and
break.
so I went, the one that broke. I went over to the shuffleboard, and I remembered just the wax shavings or whatever went everywhere, and I was like, oh
Everywhere.
god!
Oh no, I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people were pissed.
people pissed.
Okay, so Xander, you said you had a secret alliance with MK. Were there any other secret alliances that were not aired to anyone?
Nicole and I did a lot of conversing and talking and sharing information across the team with each other. So I definitely they didn't play up any of the Nicole and I.
oh no.
And you know what? Okay, I want to mention something because I was really sad they didn't show it at all, and that was MK. They didn't show our little conversation when you went over to Jack's team instead of mine.
Wait, what?
What?
Remember our little conversation that Papa Nerd
Yes,
was
yes,
all.
yes. And I hate that they didn't show that, Kayla. I thought that they would.
No, that's what I was saying is that they didn't show that either. So those were my two big alliances outside of the Titans. Would be the girls.
I know.
Well, I hate. No, go.
Oh, go on.
No, go.
Okay.
Go.
At one point, it was Zach, myself, and Josh. And Josh saw the light before I did, and then I was kind of force-fed the light, so I joined everyone else. But, yeah, so that two-person alliance is actually a three-person alliance from the get-go. They didn't show that.
Broken Alliance with Brian was not so secret.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is I was Team Chai this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that was my alliance with Chai.
Me
Cheers,
too.
Nicole.
I think I felt that just observing that Chris and Katie and Brian kind of had an alliance with the three of you, or at least similar thought processes throughout most of the game.
We definitely had similar thought processes.
Yeah, we thought a lot the same. It was very scary. For me, at least, it
Well,
was
that's
very
why we were
scary.
such a good team.
Yeah.
Because the second I realized that Brian and Katie thought just like I did, I was like, crap, these guys are dangerous. But
Listen, Titans had just a bunch of dangerous motherfuckers. All I'm going to
Yeah.
Well, so like Xander and I, we butted heads like no other. But at the same time, I thought I trusted you, Xander, the most because of that.
Right, because we could each speak our opinion, and like we were a little bit stubborn, but I think that's what made our projects good, in my opinion.
Well, you would just get so creative, and I'd be looking at what we had to build, going, I can't build what Xander's imagining. We need to bring it back a little bit.
To go back slightly, MK and Kayla, you should elaborate on the conversation that you guys had, because I think some people wanted to know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, basically, you know, it came down to Jack and Zach, Jack and Kayla, thank goodness. And we...
You broke your own rule, Mary Kay.
I know, I'm sorry. We talked about basically, like, I talked to her about, like, where I was and who I was going to choose to be on whose side, because with Jack was my rock in the house. Jack was my knight in shining armor. He was who I depended on in my nerd off, and he was who really got me through the Josh elimination and got me through the house a lot of downtime. And so I told her, I was talking to her, and I was like, I have a life debt to Jack. You know, he's been there for me, but you know, and then Kayla though is my rocket girl. She's my rock. She stands for everything that I stood for coming into that house. She stood for the air, like the on to Mars, as she says, onto space exploration, doing what our dream was, and she stood for my dream. And you know, basically our conversation was about that and how move over Bolden, we're taking over NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna kick the black guy out of NASA.
Yeah. I think the general consensus that I remember, this is when I realized how much Curtis stalked us and watched what was going on when he approached me about our conversation the next day, because we basically, when you decided to go to Jack and you came to tell me, I was like, well, I don't care. That's cool. You know, whatever you decide, it's not going to affect us, because come tomorrow when we're not at Nerdvana anymore, you and I are two women in the aerospace industry, and you and I are going to, you know, it will not affect, whatever your decision is, it will not affect our relationship into the next day. And that was the ultimate part of that conversation that he didn't show.
Going back to what you mentioned about Curtis, too, I didn't realize that Curtis was in the control room, like, watching us when we were in the house and everything like that. Like, I thought...
Yeah, that's pretty darn creepy.
He was there all the time.
I would have loved to just see what the control room looked like.
I would have
Me too.
Well, we drove past it a couple of times. You guys
Yeah,
ever
but it gives me the you know, the like the architect from the Matrix kind of idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have a good story. I have a good story about the control room thing. Okay, so the Zach and MK shot thing event. Before this shot event, one of the producers was like, MK, you know, you're a shot girl. Why haven't you done any shots? I was like, you know, you're right. I'm gonna do some shots with some motherfuckers. I'll do that. So of course, then the Zach thing happened. So right after we got back to the living room after I was like, let's get you some water, honey. Let's get you some water. And the fridge incident, and I was like, let's go back into the living room now. So we get back to the living room, and the producer that was like that was like, hey, MK, let's come have an interview about this. And I was like, okay. So we're walking through the hallway. I was like, so how's that shot? And he was like, oh, MK. Oh, MK. I was like sitting there, and I was like, oh, guys, y'all need to come watch this shit right now. Y'all need to watch this shit right now. It's about to go down. So I really had an audience during my shot with Zach. So
Yeah.
So,
No,
Go ahead.
just a final thought on Curtis is I never realized that. I just thought he was an actor, a figurehead that was the host. I didn't realize how deeply involved he was until we were at the dinner with the Titans and the cast of Revenge of the Nerds, and he just all of a sudden's like, oh my god, you gotta hear Kayla's story. And he was talking about how I had turned him down about NASA, and he's like, he made it sound like I had turned him down physically, like, oh no, Curtis, I won't do it. Like, I had no clue he knew about that or anything, and that's kind of when all of our opinions of him completely changed, and that's when we were like, this guy was really into it, he really loves us, he really loves this, and we love him.
Totally, yeah.
For sure.
There's some interesting conversation happening in the chat, especially regarding just like reality TV nerds, which is its own brand of nerddom, like people who love reality shows. And the conversation's happening between Melissa and Dylan. And Dylan was asking about the final Nerd Off, and if there is a next season, do you think they would switch it up again? And if they don't, you can manipulate it. And if any of us had the ideas to send your friends in the other person's camp to purposefully mess them up so that they didn't win, which is what Chris got tacked on with.
Yeah,
You don't have anything to add there?
Brian and I like literally discussed joining Jack's team just to disrupt him, and it was scary to me because I had thought of it, and then Brian's like, hey, Chris, I have this idea, and he was like, yeah. I was like, no, Brian, you can't be this scary, okay? Seriously, I'm the only one allowed to be this scary. And so that's like, it's just, we both were on the same wavelength, like, pretty much the entire time, but we both decided not to do it.
We ultimately didn't want to do that for a variety of reasons. And
I, for one, am glad you guys decided not to do that.
But it's always an interesting question about, you know, the rules and how much you can poke at them. I mean, you can't, like, deliberately disregard things. But I remember there were some questions that I think Genevieve answered previous chat or something about some people were interested in the Nerdio kart race. They wanted to know, well, since I was in last place, couldn't I have just not crossed the finish line and went and collected a bunch of stars and then beat you all that way? And
you couldn't have turned it around.
Yeah, like that would have been funny. Genevieve said that wouldn't work. They would have just turned the stars off. Like, okay.
Yeah, they're controlled by people.
Right, but you know, the challenges are constructed such that there may be, like, they try to close loopholes, but if you find a loophole and you can exploit it in, like, a non-malicious way, sort of, like, I don't know, it's a tough call.
Yeah, because the challenge team will always, like, shoot you down. Like, the second you think of something, they'll be like, no, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
This is when Katie got rejected. Every time she was like, can I blow something up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
well,
I remember.
They
really didn't want her to blow anything up.
They let her as long as it was, like, in a controlled experiment, and then they're like, no, this is actually too dangerous.
Yeah.
Do you know, MK, is there anything else coming in from the...
Yes, I have a lot of questions.
Tag, or the hashtag?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. I was just letting you guys finish. I'm going to let you finish before I ask those questions, okay? Okay. All right, so I guess the first question I will go ahead and pull up on my phone, and I'm going to elongate my sentences till I've got it up. All right. Okay, you guys. This question comes in from Zach at ZXK77, who runs the Nerd Chat too. He asked, what is your #1 relaxation technique? And I assume we all have our different ones, so everyone go.
Okay, do you just want to go down the line? Because I totally have the answer to this question already.
Okay, Alana, why don't you start?
So I took a lot of electives when I went to college, and one of them was a meditation class, and something that the Buddhist, I think it's Buddhist, yeah, something that the Buddhist monks do is satanama, and if you go back and rewatch, you will see me doing this with my fingers on the show, and that's me relaxing myself with meditation. Just being able to stand there. So it's not a nervous tick, it's a meditation thing.
Maybe a little both.
Yeah.
All right, so Brian, what is your relaxation technique?
I think, and you guys very well may have seen some of this on the show. I'm very much of a fidgeter, and I don't know. Maybe it drives me a little crazy. Instead of So like I do this, but I also pace all the time. Not as much as Jack does.
Both of you.
But God, I didn't know anyone could ever beat me in pacing, but Jack. But it calms me.
I just loved how like Van would yell at both of you guys to stop pacing.
We'd have to be set for a location, and we would all be sitting down and being quiet, and then Brian and Jack would be up and pacing back and forth all over the place. Chris, did you have anything that you used to relax?
What was the question? I wasn't listening. So
do you have any relaxation techniques that either in the house or outside of the house that you use?
For me, the relaxation was that journal of mine. It was just put all my thoughts on paper. So that was pretty much it.
Okay, Kayla, do you have one?
For me, my number one go-to actually is to like play hockey or go skating and do something really physical and maybe beat someone up. I was able to go ice skating one day, which the next episode was the one where I was giddy as can be, and I think that was part of why. But in terms of Nirvana, since we didn't have that escape physically, like to go play a sport or do something like that, I ended up just locking myself in the Radio Shack lab and working on whatever project I could find to get my hands working and my hands moving and to stay away from a particular somebody and stuff like that. And the Radio Shack lab became like my ready room or my mission control. And the last few episodes, if you go back and look at where I am always in the Radio Shack lab.
Yeah. And then Nicole?
Yeah.
I don't really have one aside from kind of same thing as Kayla. I just, well, as we call it in roller derby, we just hit a bitch. That's what we do. So, yeah, for me, roller derby is not so much relaxing in the normal sense of the word, but it's a stress reliever, even though you get beat up in the process.
I've seen roller derby before, and I have a heart attack. I sat on the floor seats, like where there's no protection.
Suicide
Oh my God, I was gonna die.
And like as a fighter in the SCA, where I got my jaw popped out of place this past week, I still think like roller derby is way too much for me. I don't think I could handle it.
The thing is, safety is stressed so much. Like you have to learn how to fall properly, skate properly, before you can do anything like physical and contacty. But accidents do happen, and that's made quite aware to us. I mean, I have to wear a giant PCL brace anytime I skate because I tore. I have a grade 2 PCL tear in my left knee.
And my fear for it might also be because you're on wheels, and I used to rollerblade I used to wear the headband, everything. I couldn't do it.
Figure skating and
really
rollerblading. I always did that. So it's different. You actually have more stability, which is strange, but because you have more stability, you have less maneuverability. But it's easier to go to quad skates, but it takes some practice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I fell really badly where like my dad had to like carry me back to my house, and I have a scar on my knee, and that was the last time I've ever rollerbladed in my life. That's why I just hit people with swords. That's all I want to do.
Because that's safer.
It is. You got a steel helmet on your head. Your head, like I would much rather someone hit me on the head with full force than hit me on the arm, because it leaves a bruise.
Xander can vouch that I definitely can hold my own on the ice and my ability to skate.
Kayla, you skate better than you walk. Like, when you get on the ice, it's beautiful.
I saw this in person. It was amazing. It's like watching a swan take water.
Yeah.
Like, Kayla is amazing.
Oh, that's right. I took you ice skating. That's right. I did take you ice skating in Nashville. But you know what? You know what, though? You put me in a pair of rollerblades or quads, and I look like the 2-year-old or the newborn fawn that can't stand up. There's so much friction, and they're heavier, and oh no. No, You know what? I want to point out something.
Mm.
So out of our season, I don't know about the other season, but the big, really physical sport players, or at least the ones that do the brutally dangerous sports, hockey, roller derby, sword fighting, are all girls. All the
Not
tattoo
Jack.
wearers. Well, Jack, yeah, but he fences and stuff. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the same. But all the people who
Fencing is a more male phallic sport, you might say.
We have in SCA sword fighting I do. We have things called thrusting tips. You have to say whether you have a tip or not. We giggle every time.
But then the other thing though is of all of us who know how to use arm weapons like guns and such, it's all the girls. All the girls had tattoos, minus Xander. Xander was the only male that had a tattoo. We completely had like reversed the gender roles.
Oh,
our...
Speaking of tattoos, guess who's going in tomorrow because her boss gave her bonus money that was, in his words,
are you getting the
required to
Midas
go to a
touch
tattoo? Yes, he even said, like,
way.
you better spend some of your bonus money on a tattoo.
Oh
Like,
my
I will
god.
check.
Nice.
So,
I'm
going tomorrow, hopefully.
I wanted to comment a bit on what Kayla said because I feel like when you have these gender stereotypes and then you have women who are interested in generally like male things, does that make them a nerd? Because like the essential thing of a nerd is like kind of the outcast, and for these females to be interested in something that's male dominated kind of makes them an outcast.
It doesn't make them a lesbian.
No.
I'm not gay.
No. Yeah.
Like, Kayla, let everyone know. Just tell everyone who you like.
Yeah, in a way, the fact that I play men's hockey over women's hockey and stuff, yeah, it makes it even more of a rarity. But
my favorite My Little Pony.
Rarity.
Yeah, I love Rarity as well.
This weekend, Nicole, this weekend I'm taking my tattoo design to my tattoo artist, and I'm going to set up time to get my tattoo, my King of the Nerd tattoo. So
Nice.
I'm excited.
Nice.
It'll probably be at
Cool.
least a month before he can get me in, though, because he's always pretty booked.
Nice.
I'm not even sure I want to talk about this publicly, but whatever. Because there had been talk amongst the Titans anyway that we were gonna get little like Titan hashtag tattoos. And
I'm gonna get a hashtag tattoo too.
Thus far,
that's
only
part
one of
our
us has that. And,
Katie.
so yeah, I would love to. I have some reservations about popping the tattoo cherry. And perhaps more importantly, my girlfriend has more reservations. But
it's just a little thing.
We'll see.
Next time we're all together at Dragon Con, we should totally do it.
Oh, God.
My tattoo design is going to have a little bit more, but I am incorporating a hashtag. It's basically the King of the Nerd logo. It has a crown on top of the logo, and then on the bottom it says hashtag Titans of Rigel, and that's going to be my tattoo. And so I'll still have the hashtag, but I'm going to go a little bit bigger just because.
My next tattoo I'm getting is definitely a mustache on the inside of my index finger because James the Holy and I just think it'd be great to have a fake.
I mean, I would never get anything like that big or noticeable, and especially like I wouldn't get like hashtag Titans. I mean, well, Katie just has like a hashtag.
The hashtag.
That can mean anything, really.
Yeah, that's cool. And then
people
she
are like,
writes.
"Oh, we dated," but it's a sharp symbol if you like music, whatever.
Yeah.
Or flat. I forget. See, I don't like music.
It's a
It's
sharp.
the pound sign for when you're
But
putting in code.
and it's a pound sign and whatever. So
Number.
But I would get it. Also, we have the not inconsiderable challenge of finding a place on my body that works.
We're gonna have to shave some of you, Brian. Regardless.
If you get a tattoo, it'll be very easy to hide in like a week or a day.
Yeah.
Well, if you choose a space for your tattoo, you can always go in and get some of that hair lasered off.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That's like antithetical to my religion.
Okay, next question. Oh wait, no. Xander, what was your relaxation technique?
Oh, mine was playing games.
Things in the shower.
What?
Things in the shower.
Yeah.
By the way, on that questionnaire, that's what I wrote. I was like, Xander sings all the time. He wouldn't shut up. He never
Wait,
stopped
they
singing.
asked all of you that question?
They asked me.
Yes.
Oh my god, I thought it was just
Yeah.
me.
Wait, what question are you talking about?
What question are you talking about?
There was
The one
another,
on
like,
the
That Jared
latest one
didn't
that was
do?
due today. Yeah, the Jeno
Yeah, I still have to finish
Oh,
mine.
yeah,
Oh, I haven't done that.
Well, like, some of the
I don't know
questions
what
are so
to do.
tough.
I guess
Yeah.
mine on our
Yeah, but side note to all the people who like have tweeted me, I'll respond. I'm so busy. Oh.
oh.
Okay, but yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Xander. I didn't
Well,
mean to cut you off. My bad.
I felt bad because during the 7 o'clock, well, the East Coast broadcast, I had my laptop doing the feed off the internet so that my family could all see it, so I couldn't do the Twitter. Well, I ended up getting so many tweets and mentions that by the time I did get my computer and was able to sit down and I was going to catch up, I swear to God, I was going to catch up to every single one of you guys, Twitter would not go back far enough
Oh,
for
right,
me
yeah.
to get back to everyone, and I
For
felt
us-
so bad.
For us, like obsessive compulsive completionists who like have to do everything, like Twitter is a nightmare. Actually, I love it, but it brings us back to here. I'm gonna history nerd out for a second here, but it brings us back to like medieval common squares or market square where like there's just a bunch of conversation and like if you miss it, you miss it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
like
Yeah,
Xander and I,
It's hard for me to accept that.
Yeah.
I don't speak enough Greek to be able to participate in the historical ones.
All right, go to the next question, I guess.
Oh, real quick. I just wanted to say, like, mine was playing games, and then we had a NVIDIA Shield, which hadn't been released yet. And I'm a morning person, so I would wake up at like 6, 7 in the morning-ish, and nobody else would be awake. So I'd fiddle around on the NVIDIA Shield for a while, or Chris also taught me how to solve a Rubik's Cube while we were there. And so I would do this, and I think I would wake Kayla up a few times because she was right next to me.
No, it never woke me up, but I did the same, but at nighttime, because that's nocturnal, And so I would wait until all the boys were asleep, and then I would go shower, and then I would take care of everything, and I would stay awake an extra hour, 2 hours after everyone is asleep, so that I could get my inverted self into a nice quiet time and stuff like that. And I had the shield for that as well. Yeah, those shields were pretty cool.
All right. Well, before we go to the next question, mine is very short. My relaxation technique is something that in aerospace engineering that we do is we just breathe. Sometimes all you need in a stressful situation is remember to breathe. So, next question is from @SammyCam32. If they did a King of the Nerds All-Stars, what would the teams be?
So All-Stars as in like celebrities?
No, All-Stars is I think in previous
Fan
games.
favorites.
Fan favorites, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a tough question because you have to both cast the show and divide teams.
Yeah.
And I think an all-star one right now would be they couldn't carry the egos. They could not carry the egos.
I think they would at least have to have a season 3 before doing an All-Stars to have enough people to pull from.
I personally think they would have to go all the way for well, okay, hold up. I'm going to tweet a link that you all should go check out and click.
Yes.
Click. And it's going to be a survey from TBS that you should all go fill out so that we can get a season 3, because season 3 would be wonderful. Because we want to extend our nerd family and give everyone else a chance to possibly join this awesome little nerd culture family we've joined. Anyway, but
now, that said, and yes, do please fill out that survey, absolutely. But
yes,
I've been thinking, as you've been talking, I've been thinking about what Alana just said about celebrities.
Oh,
and what if like this is what if they actually had maybe I mean an all celebrity edition of King of the Nerds might be a little bit weird, but what if like
Us versus them.
you had the regular team, but you had say I don't know you had like I'm trying to think of like an appropriate challenge, but like some celebrity who like one of the teams could draft for a particular challenge, like bring in Joss Whedon for the right of television play challenge. That's gonna happen, but anyway, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Like I would love to see like Will Wheaton, but I know that he hates reality TV.
Well, Annie made a post
It's
about
our show specifically.
Yeah.
He's never seen it apparently.
Other celebrity nerds would be like Simon Pegg, Nathan Fillion.
Simon Pegg, yeah.
I would love to get Stephen Colbert, and he would kill everybody.
That would be hilarious.
Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane would be a big nerd.
Stupid Kevin Smith. Sorry, Genevieve. Oh.
Kevin Smith could never be on our show because they would probably make him stop wearing the hockey jerseys, and then he wouldn't do it. 'Cause they took away all of my hockey jerseys.
He wouldn't have anything to wear. And nobody want to see that.
Yeah, they didn't let me
There's
wear
some
any of my
interesting questions.
Portal or Cthulhu stuff. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
What?
There are a few interesting like versions that are popping up. Like it would be fans versus favorites for the nerds, or like celebrity nerds versus like real nerds, or male versus female season. Like a lot of that would be. I would love to see.
I personally, honestly, if they did an all-star season, I kind of think how they would split it up would not be like you pick your team like dodgeball style. I think it would be girls versus boys of all-stars. I think that's how they would do it, because I think like since we've had two females as our queen, as our king of the nerds now, I think that a lot of people have been like, well, why isn't a guy one? Why boys stepped it up? So I think it'd be kind of cool to see that dichotomy. So.
I don't think that they would do that, and I also personally don't think that would be a good idea.
You don't? I think it would be kind of fun.
It would be fun, but at the same time, there's already been so much issue with, fake nerd girl and stuff like that. I think that if you did girl versus guy, you'd have issues with that. And I know Curtis's standpoint on wanting the pure just equality between the two, I don't think they ever would touch all girl and all guy.
But
I don't even think I would enjoy it.
I think it would be kind of cool though to see that a uniformed group, like a team of female nerds, battling it out with female guys, and just kind of I kind of like it. I don't know.
Now we're going
battling it out with
Drag
the guys you just said. I'm with Kayla actually. I think that the sex force thing is kind of overdone, and
it is overdone.
It
You're
leads
right,
itself
but
too easily into.
But I do think because it is such a big deal within our society of how like there are fake nerd girls. Well, if you have a team of very awesome girls just fighting for like what they stand for, like I don't know, like. I think it's kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe I just want to be on an all-girls team. I don't know.
I like it when it's all boys and just me. Then it's just me and the boys. I like that. I don't think I could handle an all-girl team. Oh my gosh.
Gotta work it, girl. Gotta work it. Gotta know how to play those girls.
You'd have Katie crying in the bathroom and stuff like that. I mean, we would get nothing done if it was all girls.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know
getting nothing done? What? No.
I think Nicole and I got along pretty well.
Hell yeah, we did.
Granted, we had other members on the team that helped that, but I think that I don't think Nicole and I ever really had a big we balanced each other really, really well, I think.
Oh, and Katie and I are great friends, but I mean, I don't know.
There's a difference between friends and balancing each other, if you get what I mean.
I could not see it, and honestly, I would not support it. If King of the Nerds did an all-girl, all-boy, I would not support that season. I just wouldn't.
You wouldn't support it? I mean, even if that's what they decided to do, like you wouldn't still give your full support?
No, because I don't think it would be smart. I don't think it's good for what we as nerd girls need and stuff like that, I really just don't think it mixes with the concept of the show.
But don't you think that if you don't support it, that's further putting us back and using that as like being like, yeah, because you're using that, that's obviously there is a difference. I think it's just kind of fun.
I think that Kayla, and forgive me, Kayla, if I'm speaking for you, but I think that basically it's like girls don't have anything to prove.
Right, and I get that, and I think it's fun though to have girl. I don't know, maybe I'm all about girl power and I'm all Sailor Moon over here, but I like the idea of it.
If I could say, I would think it would be an interesting concept, only because you don't see groups of nerd girls like nowhere. Like where I work, like I work in the structural. I'm a structural engineer, so there are only, I think, like one female engineer out of my entire group of people, and that's it. Like you don't see groups of female nerds like ever, pretty much. And so in that case, it would be an interesting concept. I don't think they should stick with it for the entire season. Like Genevieve posted on Reddit how it'd be really cool if you got to switch teams after every nerd war, like they just shuffled everything up. But I do think it'd be cool to like see an all-female team at least once doing something. That'd be really cool. I don't know if it would be cool for the entire season though.
All right, and so moving on.
No promo.
Oh, sorry.
Nerd girls coming together. RoguePrincessSquadron.com.
There you go.
There you go. All right, so we're going to move on to the next question. Evan at I am done asks, do you guys get to keep shots that end up on the cutting room floor? Go.
No.
I wish.
If only, man.
Oh my god.
What's the question?
We fought for between two nerds, and that's finally up and amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Those of you who haven't seen Between Two Nerds, it's awesome.
Yep.
You get to see this guy.
Paul. All right. So Paul asks at PJ Axel 17, which House of Westeros do you support? Those are for King of the
Stark.
Game of Thrones
House
fan.
Stark.
House Stark.
Baratheon.
Always
I don't
Stark.
care if they all die. House Stark.
House Stark.
Never seen it.
Stark.
What? Baratheon.
You're a Baratheon?
Yeah?
Really?
Are you kidding me? I gotta support Renly. He's my bro.
Or a Targaryen. I don't mind having dragons.
We'll need to educate you, Xander, in the art of Stark.
From what I do know, Stark is it. Also, my
The
grandparents'
Lannisters
last
send
name was
you
Stark.
there.
So.
I like the Starks. I think that they're good.
You think that they're good?
Yeah. The Targaryens were cool too.
Yeah.
I like Tyrells, man. Marjorie Tyrell, girl. If I played
Loras.
that game,
She's
Well,
good.
I also like the Tyrells because there's a cousin Alana. So
Man.
it'd be like, hey, I could totally be Marjorie's cousin. I'm pretty.
I honestly feel like though, if I had played the King of the Nerds, like Marjorie Tyrell played Game of Thrones, I feel like there were things that might have been differently.
It would have gotten weird.
It would have gotten weird. You're right, but it would have been better than. All right, next question. That one, Ginger at Feed Me More 16 asks, "What was it like on King of the Nerds?"
That's kind of an overarching question.
Fraud.
No, come on. What was it like?
Dude, that Xander guy was a total ass. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, really? Xander, man, he got on my nerves. Ugh.
Wait.
What if it's everywhere? What if it's all day?
The poor PA with a push broom had to pick up glitter all the time.
And glitter is like a herpes. I mean, it never goes away. You keep finding glitter.
Glitter
It's
is the
craft
herpes
herpes.
of the craft world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here's a question. I don't know if this is also a really broad question. No, it's not. Tyson at Firefly VGC. From when you left Nerd Vans, from when you came back to the final episode, were you all flown home and then back? Yes.
Chris, answer this one.
Yeah,
Chris.
I was
Your
flown
favorite
back
question.
for one day, and then I had to fly back immediately after that. It was awesome. I love flying.
And then some people got hit with 23-hour flight or travel flights home. That was great too. Yeah, that was
Oh,
awesome.
Nicole, that sounded horrible.
Oh my god. It's like, yeah, here, first you have to stay over the weekend because they don't fly people home on the weekend. And then here, it's going to take 23 hours to make a normally 4.5 hour flight. Have fun!
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was home for a week.
Yeah.
So
I was home
got
for a week and a half.
There were 3 of us here that didn't have to go home.
I was in Nirvana. I was home.
Oh.
Plus,
I got to cuddle with a Great Dane, so
it was.
soaked up my tears.
Oh.
And I wouldn't trade the hotel reject party for anything. That was
Oh, hell yes.
That was fun. That
I'm
was
sad
fun.
I missed it.
You
I
should.
know. Well,
You
I
should have
missed-
lost.
And I will take your place for you to be there.
Oh,
I
okay.
missed all the parties because I ended up missing the party at the end and stuff too because I was still. Jack and I still had to do things. There was like no pizza left.
Mounting your crown or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
let
like
us
game
suck,
now.
Kayla.
Mounting her crown.
Very good word choice. Very, very well done.
Ascending your throne.
That will
I'd
be
mount that crown
flash
any
fade
day.
right now.
All right. Anyway, this is actually a question directly to Kayla. At 8F Hosen, I think, she asked Kayla whether she gets a head sculpture like Celeste did in the beginning of the season.
A Tess. Yes, I absolutely love that little chick. She's awesome. Now, first we got to get season 3. I'm going to assume they're going to stick to the same. I'm going to assume they're going to stick to the same thing based on some of the things Curtis has told me. So, but I can't actually divulge any of that. So I'm going to assume yes, there would be a bust based on what I've heard. Now my question is, will I be wearing a hat?
Hmm.
Well,
The
she
hat
was
and
wearing
the
the crown.
What that means, though, Kayla, is that if it's the same thing, that means you die also. And that
That's
means
true.
the only people who didn't die are me and Xander and Jack.
What?
Xander.
Why do
I
you guys
wonder-
live in California?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
No, but we didn't die because they didn't have since we were in the final episode, they didn't have us, walking down the stairs and getting killed by Bobby and Curtis.
Next question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Xander had this big thing said about him by Curtis. Brian, where was yours?
Mine was there too.
He was
I
there.
don't
He was
remember.
there.
Awesome.
I
was
watched
there.
it twice. I don't remember
It was right
You
after.
got one.
He was first.
Yeah.
And he talked to. I teared up a little bit during it. I mean, he called me a gentleman and a scholar, which is the best thing you can.
Was it shown in the episode?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of the sort of send-offs were shown in their entirety, but mostly
Right.
they were. And I forget exactly what he said besides that I was a gentleman and a scholar, but that's really all.
Oh, right, I remember.
he quoted Winston Churchill at me, which was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in
remember
LA,
that exactly.
when I was in LA, I asked Curtis, and he had the write-up for me, and so
And that's
I
the funny
have.
story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That has a story to it. But anyways, I have his write-up that he had for me in case I had lost trivia. And so I have it in his handwriting and everything sitting in my room right now, and it's pretty cool to have that.
Wow.
Yeah.
For mine, it was a little bit longer too than what was aired because one of the things that he said was Nerdvana's first gamer, and he tried to clarify that it was GAY, but he couldn't really say that. And so I heard that afterwards they're watching it and they're like, he wasn't the first gamer in Nirvana. What are you talking about?
He was the first gay.
Gamer. But one of the things that I was thinking of, this goes to Brian and Kayla and myself too, is if you think we would have had our death scenes at the end of the episode, how do you think they would have killed us?
Well, it's interesting because more so in this season than in the first season, the death scenes were related to the challenges, so it's hard to say that. But as far as like spiritual things, I think a stack of books would have been.
That would have been great for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
For me, it would have been like either an alien thing, or they might have had like the Death Star come out and shoot me or something just to throw an insult at me.
I was afraid like I would have gone out in a glitter fit or something like that.
And you never would have
exploded into glitter like Katie's exploding into the purple plot.
Well, one of the questions was, how did we react to Katie blowing up? And I had an actual physical reaction to that because that was gruesome.
It was very Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. The best part about that, like, 'cause I just thought it was funny, but then you have Bobby throwing up and Curtis is like, "I'll hold your hair!" And I was
that was good.
so hard at that. I love how those two play off each other. They're so awesome.
And speaking to that, I know that people question it, but a lot of the stuff that they do is all improv off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not scripted stuff. They're that funny.
They, Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. No, like during the Nerd Eliminator, yeah, they were literally sitting there just whispering to each other the whole time. They distracted me a couple times when I would like overhear my name or something. But yeah, they definitely. Yeah.
Oh, I loved when they shouted during that final. That was hilarious.
Oh my god! There was one time
5 minutes.
I was actually like, I think maybe it was the word search. I was doing something with the pen, and I just remember going scratching like.
Pretty sure I peed on the risers one time.
Speaking of peed, Chris Jackson, how's your bed?
My bed is dry at the moment.
At least that's what you think.
Oh no, I just checked.
Before the hangout even started, he had to make sure Mary Kay had not been stalking him.
You know, it's one of those things. In case people didn't know, and so it doesn't sound like Chris has a peeing in his bed problem.
Oh no! I don't pee in my bed. Mary Kate pees in my bed. Just so everyone knows in this case, the issues. Mary Kate peed in my bed in Nerdvana. Just so at the record, it happened.
I threatened
He was like,
to.
Chris, I hate you right now. I'm peeing on your bed. She ran over to my bed and peed over the whole thing.
I didn't know you were in water sports.
On the record.
Yeah, water sports.
Okay, to clarify this whole situation, for those of you who have not heard this story, Kayla was going to show me her Mars rock, and I was like, and it was either her or me that said, "Oh, you're going to pee yourself," and I was sitting on Chris's bed at the time, and Chris was like, "Oh wait, you need to get off my bed before you show her that rock," and I was like, "Oh no, Chris Jackson, I'm going to pee all over this bed right now," and it became a thing. It became a thing.
And then
Forever.
you did. I remember you did, and I was like mortified. I was like,
Oh,
"How
there it is."
pee on my bed? This is so weird." I was like, "Xander, we've got to vote her out now." And then episode 3 happened.
Yeah, Kayla just showed the piece of the Mars rock, and I just peed my chair, so it still works.
Yeah.
The shade of it all. The shade.
Oh my lord.
Oh, the shade. That can't be said. I'm almost done with questions. I think I might have one more. Yes, I do. Actually, this is a really good one. I like this one. This is from Kelly at iHeartSong. What is everyone's favorite new catchphrase from the show? I'm going to start. No, I'm going to start, and I'm going to say, Texas Justice.
Oh, come on, guys. That's not fair. Not fair. Okay.
Because I know that's not something you'd ever say.
A lot of things I said on the show are things that I don't normally say. We're just gonna say that.
Texas
That's all I'm gonna
Justice.
say.
Every time you tweet something, I just want to end it with Texas Justice.
How about moving to Nicole?
Yeah.
I'm bacon.
Ah.
I'm making.
And then Kayla?
I have to say that Glitter Fit is my new favorite one since watching it, because there are times when I literally will be at work instead of saying like crap or fuck or something, I just want to go Glitter Fit, but then no one around me like knows what I'm talking about. But I'd have to say that was one I've actually, despite my horror, have kind of picked up.
Despite your horror, I love it.
I love you so much, Xander.
It's cool. I love me too. And then Chris?
Wait, I already said mine. Glitter.
Oh, Glitter Fit?
Come on, keep up.
Sorry, I missed it. It's my internet. I blame the
Texas
internet.
Justice.
I'm really trying to think about, like, off the top of my head, I gotta go with Glitterfit as well, but like, there's definitely other, I wouldn't even call them catchphrases, but like parts of you guys' speech that I feel like I've picked up. You know how when you hang out with friends, like, you have different like morphemes or whatever. That's not
Yeah,
the
like
right
in
word.
jokes.
Different particles of speech that sort of like infected, like memes. They infect each other's. Because I can't speak anymore. But
I think Xander knows this personally, right, Xander?
Infecting other people? Oh, long hair don't care.
Long hair don't care, bitch.
Yeah.
What? I don't make this all sexual.
Well, no,
Come on.
No, give us some examples. Like, what of my speech did
Well,
you pick up?
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to think of, and I can't right now. But like,
Kapla!
Kapla.
I already said that already, but
I'm surprised the editor didn't try and translate that.
That, I lost my shit.
That was so good. That was
I
so good.
lost it.
Xander, are you gonna have your top 3 moments from the finale?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow morning.
Yay! You can check that out on Xander Vlogs.
Just constantly plugging.
I got you, boo.
oh, that's
all the time.
This is not a catchphrase, but now whenever I think about Xander, my head goes.
What?
Why?
That's your Xander
intro
Vlogs
music.
song.
That's your intro music.
Oh, yeah. Now I get it. Oh, yeah, duh. Clink Drink is a good one that came from the show.
My favorite one that I said, that I get a lot from people at work is, that doesn't make any sense to me, or I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
People say that to me constantly now.
That is such no. My favorite is how Chris Jackson always like separates words. Like that's fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic,
yeah,
guys.
talk
Fantastic.
I don't think we've ever talked in a hangout about Chris Jackson's amazing British inflection, have we?
Like,
Oh no! I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't do that at all.
It shows up in an
I
episode.
don't do it at all.
I don't. Stop it.
Like, I think it was during the talk with Jack or something like that. Like, yeah, it was like, can you leave us alone for a minute? Like,
Chris has this way. He's not trying to affect a British accent. It's not even a British accent. It's just like the cadence of his voice sounds very British occasionally.
Oh, what about your nerd boner, Mary Kate? That was pretty
Nerd
good.
boner.
Yeah, Nerd Boney slapping you in the face.
Nerd boner's good. Oh, and I love how we're just like discussing random inside jokes now.
Yeah. But now it's
I
outside
don't know if
jokes.
I'm allowed to talk about that. Maybe it's.
Google Goggle. Google Goggle.
Google Goggle. I loved when you spelled that because I know those feels, Kayla, where I'm like, I'm an engineer, I don't know how to spell anything, and I know if I tried to spell Google in front of those cameras, I would have been like the same thing. I would have been the exact same way.
And I caught it right away. I mean, I knew as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, shit.
You know, by the way, that the Google, the company / search engine itself, is of course a
misspelling.
Because they wanted to spell it after the number GOOGOL, and didn't know how to spell it. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
You learned
still,
some trivia guy.
yeah.
I haven't used it.
That was actually
I think
the reason I
one of
learned
my
it was because of a
favorite
question on
moments.
later.
I think one of my favorite moments from the final episode was when I made Brian cry.
I can be prone.
Oh yeah, with your speech.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when I had a Janeway quote. It's from this first season too.
And I don't even remember exactly what it was, but
it's the one where they have. I can't remember the episode right now. It's one of the first. It might even be the one where there's coffee in that nebula. But it's the episode where they're doing a throwback to Picard, and they have her walking throughout her ship. She's recording her vlog or her captain's log, and it's literally the second or third episode of the season or of the series. And she makes a comment where she's like, "My ship and my crew expects me to be larger than life. I only hope I can be that for them."
That's cool.
Star Trek is my religion.
I like it when Jack shot popcorn out of his nose.
That was so good. I thought they cut that. I thought they cut that. They told us they cut that.
I know, I thought so too. Oh my god, I couldn't believe that it was still in there.
I lost my shit in the bar when that happened. I was like, I thought they cut that shit. Look at this shit right here.
I loved when during the and I don't know how it was edited together exactly, but during the Nerdio cart when Jack was trash talking or whatever, and he was like, wait, I have to think of an analogy.
Oh yeah.
2 seconds. What was with him trash talking in the last episode? Like, that was a Jack I had never seen.
Yeah,
and he needs a few lessons on how to trash talk.
Yeah, well, they were encouraging it too, I'm sure.
True story. They tried to encourage me to trash talk in episode 4, and I flipped off somebody.
Oh.
Totally not father.
I think that they didn't use any of my GoPro footage of filming me in the Nerdio carts because I was just swearing at Kayla the entire time. Completely.
Man. I want all this footage, man. Oh my goodness.
Here's some other fun stuff we can share. Is that I of course was unaware of this, but I heard from I guess the crew that during the various Nerdio car crashes or whatever, like I got into a big crash and one of my GoPros was like dragging along the ground
and it was sparking.
And you guys saw it, I guess, but I obviously was behind you, I couldn't see it. But, I mean, those things are indestructible, but like.
Brian, your car was toe up.
Yeah. And for the record, I never once hit Zach. I only hit Brian, and that was Brian's fault because he left his drive line. I was the only person I hit. But I did laugh maniacally every time I passed his Zarya.
Alana, were there any moments that stood out to you when watching the show? Like the whole season, I guess?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that stood out.
A favorite moment.
Or a catchphrase, or...
Well, I did really like Glitter Fit. Like. and Nerd Boner hitting me in the face. I'm totally going to use that
all
one.
the time, girl. All the time.
And I'm trying to. The way they did the LARPing challenge actually kind of confused me. I helped run a LARP here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't win at LARP. You can't win.
Yeah. And it was a little bit different how we played it versus how it was shown, and then even then it's different than LARP altogether because they were interchanging LARP and cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to share a story with you guys, and I don't care that it's on air.
Yay!
Yay! All of the season 1 nerds know this story because they were there with me, but they didn't know the difference between LARPing and yiffing.
Oh God.
So I had to let them know what it was, and I was like, I really don't mind being a sex symbol for furries. I actually dressed up as a furry. But LARPing and yiffing are two different things, guys.
Oh no.
See, that's great though, because
I want
I
to.
think that King of the Nerds has always needed to have a furry representative. I really do think that because I mean, you know, it's part of it, and it's cool to hear that though. It's very cool.
I'm just curious how that even came up, Alana.
I think what they did is they looked up LARPing, and apparently on the wiki, like I found out on the wiki, they have links to other things, and like furries is under there, and it's like, guys, I didn't bring any fursuits with me. Oh my god. And I brought my entire collection of corsets, and I couldn't wear them because they made me keep covering up my tattoos.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say tits.
Yeah, I did too. That's probably mine. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't quite get drunk enough to show everybody my tits.
Me neither, to be clear. Just thought I'd be clear with that.
Oh boy.
I don't know if they had, if they had somebody else I could bounce off my dirty comments with. If Hendrik had stayed for much longer, like we would have had so many dirty comments going back and forth with each other. It would have been.
I would love to see more of Hendrik.
Like, there are so many. I mean, for both seasons, there's so many alternate realities, and I'd love to see all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I had just said no, I want virtual.
And then MK, I think, did you have
more questions?
If you had the speeches.
Oh, I do. Are we at that point?
I think so. We're coming up on 2 hours.
Yeah, we should probably start wrapping this up anyway. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me pull this stuff up.
Okay.
Pull this stuff up.
We can still. I've been trying to watch the chat for other questions too.
Okay. All right. So.
If you all could raise your glasses, you at home as well.
Yes.
Or bottles or whatever.
Because we were at the portion where we toast our fallen nerds, and unfortunately, we have many fallen nerds to toast this episode. And I have toast for them all. And they might not follow the limerick thing that Xander sent me through text message today, but that's okay. Okay. I'm just gonna go with it because I already wrote it. So fuck you, Xander.
Cool.
Okay. So, to Brian. The hipster hobbit epic is one for the ages. He fought his nerdy foes with books filled with pages. With his turtle named Chai, the trivia did bake him. We raise our glass in hand and cry, I am bacon.
Yay!
Brian.
Yay! Huzzah! Quick drink.
Clean drink. All right, we raise our glass again. Raise your glass to the fabulous Xander the Flashy. He taught us all the true meaning of sassy. When Xander bombs and glitter fits, the trivia did give him the slip. Thus, our flashy nerd ran out of luck, leaving us all shouting, #fuck!
Oh my god, you have the posters on our little, Oh, I want to put these...
Okay, clean drink. Okay, I gotta go to Xander's text. I should have had these all together in one spot. Sorry about that, guys.
MK, you need to post these in our little chat because I want to print these out and put them in my scrapbook.
Okay,
Yes.
the early ones are really bad, just FYI.
These ones are worth it, though.
Okay. Now for the last fallen nerd, Jack. The tragic yet happy tale of Sweet Potato Jack. Math and statistics skills he never ever lacked. The finals he tried to be crowned, but out of his grasp it was found. So fell the last Midas touch attack to Jack.
Clink Drake.
Clink Drake.
Knight in shining
Drake,
armor.
Jack.
Knight in shining armor. I feel okay. I was writing one for Kayla actually, but as a toast in her Majesty's honor, and I'm just gonna read what I have, and we're gonna see where it goes because I wrote this in spacecraft. Aerospace environment. So this is for you, Your Majesty. I'll sing you a tale of our King Kayla onto Mars. She fought her foes and it took her very far. With her engineering knowledge about contraptions, her battle cry, failure was not an option. She snatched the crown and now I'm making shit up. But she was fucking awesome, so I'm raising my cup. Drink to Kayla.
Okay, write that down and send that just like that.
Oh my god!
So ends Whiskey Wednesday, and I hope that you all enjoyed the 8 episodes worth of Whiskey Wednesday with your co-host Xander and myself, MK or Married Kate. Thank you guys, fellow Alana from season 1 and the rest of my season 2 family for tuning in and coming and just having a grand old time with Whiskey Wednesday. I hope that everyone enjoyed it. I know it's kind of a clusterfuck, but long hair don't care, bitches.
And also, if you've noticed, the Whiskey Wednesday stuff is happening on the Talking Nerd channel. Let us know on Twitter through @talking_nerd, or in the comments down below what you'd like to see continuing on in the Talking Nerd channel. It might not be Whiskey Wednesday, but it might be another pairing of nerds or talking about different things. So let us know what you like to see. This is your channel as much as it is ours.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what exactly a lot of people were wondering what we were going to do with Talking Nerd. And Talking Nerd is definitely supposed to be kind of an outlet for nerds. We're supposed to use this after the show has ended. And we want to hear from you guys because you guys are a part of the family as much as the rest of us. So we want to hear from all of you. And so I hope to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to.
As long as
You know where to find us, and eventually we'll catch up with our Twitters.
Yeah. And then one more quick announcement. Nicole was amazing, and not only did she make amazing trading cards for all of us.
Let me get my book. Hold on a second.
Okay. And it has the season 1 and 2 nerds plus Curtis and Bobby.
Since Alana is here.
Oh!
And
I'm
then
keeping
Caleb,
all of mine wrapped up because I don't want. It's a collector's item.
it is.
I put mine on display.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that too, Kayla. That's a great idea.
I'll just be happy when my room's not swamped in decks.
Millionaire.
How many did you make?
5x5 paid for 50 decks. They were gonna
Jeez.
they wanted 25 to give out to people
Wow.
that work with the show. Yeah, thank 5x5 as well because they flipped the bill.
Thank
on
you,
these.
5x5.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thanks,
5x5.
Please drink to 5x5.
Thank
You
you.
are an awesome hive.
Yeah, they ordered 25 and then they gave me 25 to give out to the cast and to have a few extra.
Nice.
Did Curtis gets one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send Curtis one.
And then also, if you want to keep your eye out on all of our social media, Nicole also made game over screens of our favorite video games, including The Fallen Nerds, and then some.
Yep,
So,
yeah. Y'all
what-
should all check those out because I think, Nicole, you're starting to post those now, right? I didn't know
Yeah,
whether to post mine yet or
Yeah,
not. So it's gonna
we'll probably be posted several times. As we said, Twitter's the market square, so
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
I was gonna do one a day. I have Kelsey's up right now.
Nice.
'Cause
You can
I'll be
relive-
honest, I was super jealous of the King of the Nerds Tumblr that season 1 had that was neglected for season 2. And I
Yeah.
really liked the game over images, so yeah,
Yeah.
I made them.
I love mine, Nicole. I can't
And they're
wait
awesome.
to show people.
I know.
I'm
I like
guessing mine
mine
is coming
too.
out on Friday.
Yes. So
I'll
So-
retweet.
So
I'll
watch
retweet you,
Nicole's
girl.
Twitter at N1Asuka, and then you can relive King of the Nerds with all of us as we get killed one by one.
Huzzah!
Oh, the messages I would send to people, it's like, hey, MK's killed, or like, Katie has just joined the dead party. I was having a little too much fun with that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well,
Okay.
So in closing, thank you all for joining our finale of Whiskey Wednesday. I hope that some of you got something out of it, but I don't really care if you got anything out of it because I was just hanging out with my friends and you guys. So. Anyway, so
May I do a final toast after you say goodbye?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. So clink drink to everyone and stay nerdy, my friends.
Stay nerdy.
And Alana will close us out.
Okay, so this is a toast that was made up by one of my gamer buddies, and now whenever we get together, we do it in remembrance of him. So, here's to me, and here's to you, and should we ever disagree, fuck you, here's to me.
Here, clink
Nice.
drink. Thank you guys for joining us. Nerds
Don't
rule.
forget to tell TBS that you want season 3.
Season
Fill out the
3.
survey.
Season 3! Come on! Plug
Nerds
your
rule.
Twitter,
Bye. Stop.
everything.